Welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour, the #1 crypto show on Rumble. I might add to that excitedly. Of course, powered by Solana Global with your hosts, Lance Miliaccio and George Balloutine, the Crypto Bros. This is your ultimate deep dive in everything crypto, blockchain, and decentralized finance. Whether you're a seasoned investor or just stepping into the world of digital assets, we bring you expert insights, top interviews, exciting new projects, breaking news, and game-changing innovations shaping the future of digital assets. No hype, no fluff, just real talk and strategies, real opportunities in the world of crypto, because on this show, In Crypto We Trust, George Balloutine, my brother from another mother. How are you, man? What's going on? What's shaking over there?
Well,
fresh haircut in the house. You're all detailed out.
Yeah, I got a haircut yesterday. I had to do it. But, just another day, another dollar, another digital coin, perhaps, another Bitcoin, maybe. I don't know. Are things looking up? They seem to be changing for the better. We'll see. We'll teach you in this segment. I'll tell you that, because in crypto, we trust. It's all about the crypto.
Exactly. So let's talk about what's going on over at the SEC, George. The Wicked Witch is dead. I'm feeling good about this. We got new leadership at the helm. What are your thoughts, buddy?
It's always good to have new leadership, good leadership, especially one that's in favor of crypto and not regulation, I would say. It's good for Ripple. It's good for Bitcoin. It's good for Ethereum, Solana, all of them. It's good just
Solana
all around.
Sure. Yeah. Cardano, Solana. Well, listen, this show's about education. Before we even dig into the main body of the show, I want to kick it off with a little education. George has prepared some stuff about the blockchain. We've had a lot of questions. People are still confused about what the blockchain is. And of course, this is going to be our education spotlight for today. And it's not just for Bitcoin anymore, the blockchain. It's transforming finance, security, healthcare, trust in the digital age. But what is it really, and why should we care, George?
Oh, we should care.
Break it down, brother. Let's break it down.
Listen, it's a beginner's guide to the fifth evolution of computing, baby. It's the future. And people always equate, blockchain with crypto. No, blockchain is the technology behind it, but it can be used for numerous things. And listen, it's not just for Bitcoin anymore, people. It's transforming what? Finance, security, and trust in the digital age. But what is it really? And why should you care? Well, Lance, you need to care, Lance. We're going to break it down. Listen, we'll start with the basics, right? What is blockchain? Anybody want to know? It's a special kind of digital ledger. Basically a database that's shared across a network of computers. But unlike a traditional database controlled by one central authority, like a bank or a company, we know how that goes. A blockchain is decentralized and maintained by many users across locations. And that is key because it's controlled by us, we the people. It's not controlled by banks, not government. We don't want that. It's like a real world analogy, Ryan. Think of blockchain like Google Docs. Everyone with access can see it and update the document in real time, but with tamper-proof security, timestamps, and automatic backups. Now, Lance, I know you're all about decentralized. You don't like bigger government.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think it's important that people, because a lot of times people are confused. They think blockchain is only crypto.
Yeah.
But you've got really several types of blockchains. You've got the public blockchains, which of course are like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are open to anyone. They're completely transparent, and of course, a lot of them are incentivized by those cryptocurrency rewards. You've seen it where you can actually mine Bitcoin, or you can stake companies, and it goes on from there. You've got permission blockchains. Of course, Ripple is one of the permission blockchains. You guys know we're big Ripple fans on this show. We're big XRP holders, so we believe in what they're doing. And that's controlled access and, of course, specific roles. It's kind of a hybrid of decentralization and control. And then you've got the completely, the private blockchains, the DLTs. And those are used by banks and corporations. No public token. It's closed membership. And that's ideal for any kind of sensitive data or internal business data. Could be healthcare, could be banking, finance, all that sort of thing. So, all types of those use cryptography to ensure that the data is secure, which is just the encryption protocol that's required. And of course, those all have a centralized gatekeeper. So, blockchain's really secure. And I think the decentralized, no single point of failure is one of the big things people need to understand. And that's why you see even the SWIFT banking system is going to be converted to blockchain. That's why they want to do it for election integrity. Because a lot of stuff that every part of the blockchain is validated by the network. So every transaction isn't just validated by one party, it's verified by multiple parties. So it's immutable. You know what I mean? You can, once it's recorded, the data is extremely hard to alter, really damn near impossible. And that's where the security comes from. And of course, it's transparent. So every viewer knows what was on the ledger. And that's where we're at now. And I think when you look at this, small blockchains can be hacked, like Ethereum is a classic. But if over 51% of the network conspires to rewrite history, known as a 51% attack, which is not easy to do now.
Yeah, well, it's not easy, but it's, it can be done. Like, the smaller blockchains, but that's why we rely on the secure ones. But let's go into like how blockchain actually works. I'm going to simplify it here. Right? You want to record a transaction, right? The transaction is broadcast to a network. Multiple computers, they're called nodes, check it for validity. Very important. If approved, it gets added to the block. That block is permanently attached to the chain. Get it? Blockchain. Some blockchains they call it proof of work, POW. Like Bitcoin, miners solve puzzles to add blocks. Then you have proof of stake, POS. And that's like Ethereum 2.0. Validators stake tokens instead of solving puzzles.
Yeah, that's what the validators do on the chain. That's part of what they do is they're actually solving those tokens.
Why this matters? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Here's the bigger picture. Blockchain is called the fifth evolution of computing because it solves a huge problem, digital trust, right? Before blockchain, we relied on third parties like banks, governments, and tech companies. And you all know how we feel about banks, government, and tech companies. They want to control everything, right? Trust was based on certificates, SSL, locks, IDs, notaries. Now with blockchain, this is where it gets the trust is here. Trust is built into the code. Transactions are secure, they're verifiable, and they're instant. And instant is huge because you cut out a lot of time and transaction fees, like you see with banks, even some companies that like PayPal or Western Union. You don't have to deal with all that crap anymore. So you can create a digital identities. You can create smart contracts and property records. So imagine instantly transferring property deeds, executing legal agreements automatically, or casting votes securely online, all without middlemen. Oh my God, no middlemen. What does that mean?
And I think when you bring up real estate, when you think about the title companies and the complication of verifying all the title documents, that would all go away, which is also going to translate to much lower fees. So when you say, okay, Lance, it's great, George, whatever, but what's the real world application of all this? How do I benefit? What you're going to really benefit from is lower transaction fees. So in finance, everything's going to be faster, cheaper, money movement's going to be quicker. If you're sending money overseas, we're talking about tenths of a cent. So companies like Western Union or other companies like doing international wires where you just get gouged, that's not going to happen. Supply chain, you're going to be able to track items from origin to delivery in seconds because everything's going to be done in such a way that it'll all be tracked. Identity, yeah, of course, self-sovereign ID systems, no more data breaches. So you'll be able to secure your data much more. It'll be a much more secure system. And voting, which, election integrity is a top issue for all of us. We talk about it all the time online. Everybody talks about, well, how can the blockchain fix that? It would basically make it auditable down to the last vote and tamper-proof. And then look at the hacks in the healthcare industry. You've seen these massive data hacks where lots of patient data has been, really, accessed when it shouldn't have been. Well, now you're talking about with the blockchain, secure patient data. That's a lot of what Solana.global, who is the sponsor of the show, that's what they're doing. They've got an AI contingent. They're talking about secure data across healthcare platforms. Would completely get rid of all that stuff. So, where there's a trust gap, where you're uneasy about something, blockchain is finally that bridge.
Lance,
so I think this is big.
You brought up, like, just think about, how when you go in a store, you use a credit card, you're being charged 3% for the transaction.
Yeah.
Well, with blockchain and crypto, that you ain't paying that 3%. You might pay maybe a small percentage, but it's nowhere near that. I doubt you'd be paying anything. But
I got to add something, George. When was the last time you went to a restaurant and they cracked you for like an additional credit card service fee? It wasn't just the 3%. They said, oh, we've got an additional service fee, a handling fee. They're trying to pass through their entire expense for the credit card. That would all go away. I'm sure the credit card industry doesn't want it, but at the end of the day, it would be beneficial for everybody. So this isn't just a buzzword. You hear it out in the internet, and I know a lot of shows go, oh, blockchain, blockchain. It's not a buzzword. It's a game changer. You're talking about redefining how we transfer money, creating a trust-based layer for the internet. It's setting the foundation for the next generation of really your digital life. And it's only getting started, and it's coming. Your knowledge is necessary. That's why you come to the Crypto Power Hour. We're the #1 show on Rumble because we're trying to break it down for you a way that it has a real world application. George does a great job at doing the research so that he knows what the top questions are. He goes out all over the place looking at what people are discussing where they're confused. And you just want to stick around because when it comes to this show, we're going to bring it all to you. And what I'm going to do is we want to start giving you guys some homework. You guys should go out and watch a blockchain transaction in real time. And you can go look. There's a website. I want to give it to you right now. It's called blockchain.com/explorer. That'll allow you to see how a blockchain transaction works in real time and how quick it is. And then you should research the difference between POW and POS. Maybe set up a crypto wallet for the first time. You don't have to put any money in it. Maybe you only put $20 in it, whatever it is. Figure out how those crypto wallets work because I know they're kind of confusing. We struggle with them too. You need to get started.
Lance, next week we're going to cover the structure of blockchains, but I have a disclaimer to say it to everybody. The homework I think was all Lance. I had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Just letting you guys know, but it is,
we want you to take what you learn on this show.
We want you to be educated.
Yeah, because we don't want you to get screwed. It's easy to get screwed in the blockchain world. There's a lot of scams out there yet. We've covered the scams on this show. And if you're just starting with us, you can go back and watch the Crypto Power episodes. You can put them on. They're even available on closed caption on Rumble. Rumble's our home base. You guys know it. If you like the show, don't forget to thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. If you can do the $5 paid subscription, please do. It's great. It goes back into the show. If you can't do that, it's a tough economy. Just subscribe. Tell your friends and family about it. We want to grow the show here in Rumble. Let Rumble know you love the Crypto Power Hour. You can always go into the chat. You can send them emails to support. Let them know you love the show. You love George and Lance. That's what it's all about. We're growing that. We also have a nationally syndicated radio show deal that we're wrapping up right now. So the Crypto Power Hour is going to be also available as a radio show. So it's exciting. All right. George, ding dong, the witch is dead, the witch is dead, the witch is dead. I'm digging it. SEC, finally some new leadership in place, not that little weasel, Gary Gensler, who damaged everybody. I still want my class action settlement for XRP for everything he did to the XRP holders and screwing us over. But here's the deal. Crypto ally Paul Atkins just got sworn in to replace Gary Gensler. He's now the head dog, the big kahuna over at the SEC. George, what do you think, bro? Are you as excited about this as I am?
Oh, yeah, because listen, I'm so excited. I think XRP is going to take off because of this. To
the moon, baby, to the moon.
Yeah, to the moon. It's going to take off big time. Listen, it's about time we got someone that's pro crypto, not for regulation, and what's for the everyday American, the people. And this is going to cement crypto for the future.
Amen, brother. I agree. He's the new chairman. He's taken over the commission. He's already working on, of course, friendly digital asset policies. Ooh. He's already hosting crypto roundtables. He's been a big part of what the Trump administration strategy is. And the fact that it's finally formalized, I'm excited about this. We know that the case with the SEC and XRP, there's supposed to be a settlement talks wrapping that up finally. He's worked with digital asset firms in the past, and he's expected to continue the interim leadership's reversal of the SEC's previous crypto, what do I call it, lawfare. It's great news. I think it's great for the crypto community. And you know, with this permanent replacement, I feel like we're turning the corner, George. That maybe trust and confidence will be the reward not only for the crypto community, but maybe we'll finally be able to trust the SEC again.
Well, I love his two statements he said, Lance, and he said he's honored by the trust and confidence that Trump and the U.S. Senate placed in him, and is pleased to start work. But the next one, he goes, and together we will work to ensure that the U.S. is the best and most secure place in the world to invest and do business.
Yeah,
and that's huge. You know,
it's powerful.
We want crypto to be very secure. You know, weed out the bad apples and bad people. Always be bad people. It is what it is. But you know, with the right leadership, you know, we can go to the moon. We can go to Mars. Screw the moon, right? Crypto on Mars. But you know, I'm surprised the way the Senate's been acting lately, that he actually got through easily. So maybe that says a lot about him as a person and his character and who he is. Because I didn't hear any blowback really on it. Did you?
No, and I think, you know, this is going to be beneficial for the stock market. I also think that there's been a lot of weaponization by the SEC against the big stock companies. I think there's just been a lot of it. And then there's some that necessarily needs to happen. There's some breakups that need to happen. I think there's some companies out there that are waging unfair lawfare and strategy against other smaller companies, and I think those need to be broken up potentially. I won't say names, but I like the way this guy is looking at things, is he wants to make the U.S. a safe place to invest, and of course, Trump wants to make the U.S. the number one crypto location in the world. He wants to do some tax-free investing for U.S. cryptos where you won't have to pay capital gains. And I think capital gains and a lot of things have really been hurting us. And I think Atkins has got a plan. And I feel like even though he's starting with an incomplete commission, and I know there's a sole Democrat on there, Caroline Crenshaw, I think, on that committee, and she's already on an expired term, so I think she's going to be replaced.
I wonder if she's related to Dan Crenshaw, the fake rhino Republican.
You know, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, so I don't know what he's going to do with those two slots. That'll give him a full deck. But, you know, I like the way he's hitting the ground running. I like the fact that he's really optimistic. And his pro-crypto stance is it's like a breath of fresh air at the SEC. So the White House actually has to fill two Democratic slots on the commission. I wonder, do they have to be Democrats or could it be anybody? I don't know.
I don't know either. That's something I don't know.
I'm not sure. Well, let me ask you a question, George. Here's a good one that I don't even know the answer for. Are there any Democrats that are really pro-crypto that have been in the news? I don't really know of any.
Well, I mean, none of the Senate really voted for him that are Democrats. I don't know. You know what? You won't hear any of them talking about it because why? Because if Trump is for something, they're automatically going to be against it, which is kind of mind-boggling. But
I mean, when Nancy Pelosi figures out if she can insider trade crypto, she'll probably go pro-crypto.
Yeah, well, I wonder if there's going to be a Nancy Pelosi meme coin.
Yeah, exactly.
Rug pull that.
If it's going to be for Nancy Pelosi, it's going to be Xlax vodka meme coin.
I can see her coming out with that and then getting all her friends and Democrats in the House and Senate
and rug pull everybody.
Rich friends to get it, and then she'll just rug pull that. Yeah.
Yeah. She would be a rug puller.
You know why though?
You
know why? Because she does insider trading and doesn't get in trouble. So why not she could do rug pull and probably not get in trouble.
She might be working on it. The vodka meme coin. Be careful if it comes out. It could be Nancy Pelosi's
vodka ice cream meme coin. You got to mix the vodka. You got to take a martini glass, put some ice cream in it, and then pour the cold vodka on it.
But what about the Xlax chaser? She always looks like she's constipated to me.
I don't know.
All right, listen, let's talk about XRP. Now, remember, nothing on this show is financial advice. We're just trying to educate you to the things we hear. We've got insiders in D.C. We hear lots of stories about lots of things.
The first thing or the second thing?
Exactly. The XRP is, it looks like it's eyeing a 60% surge as whales buy and Paul Atkins takes over. So, of course, the Ripple price has staged a strong rally on Tuesday, did it on Wednesday. It's crossing a crucial resistance level that we just hit a resistance level again. The whales are accumulating, and Bitcoin, of course, is back into that $90,000 a coin territory. What do you think, George? Is this where we're heading?
Yeah, listen, between the tariffs, wars going on, and you had uncertainty with the SEC, but everything's coming together because a lot of countries are coming to make deals. Yeah, we just had we just had Paul Atkins become the SEC commissioner, right? So everything is coming together slowly but surely. Bitcoin hit, I mean, it's in the mid 90s now, and then even XRP is starting to go up. They're like at 220 something, 230. Listen, this is what I'm going to say, Lance. Within 2 weeks, XRP will hit 3, back up at 3.
Whew, that's a bold statement, but I think we're going to see some big movement.
Within 2 weeks, also, Bitcoin will be at the 100 mark, if not over.
Wow, that's bold. I will tell you this: the big ones that are in play right now are XRP, Bitcoin, Dogecoin. It's up 10.27%, and I think it might even be up higher today. I didn't check it. Sui, that took a big jump. It went up over 6%. You got to look at Ethereum. Those are all on the move, and I think a lot of them right now. The market cap, we're hitting close to $3 trillion again. So the whales are continuing to accumulate Bitcoin. I always think of the whales because, of course, they hear things like we do. I also heard something interesting that I want to share with the audience.
What'd you hear?
Yeah, you're going to like this one, George.
Go ahead, let it rock.
It sounds like the settlement that's going to be paid by XRP, there's discussions that it's going to be paid in XRP coins. That Ripple's settlement is going to be paid with XRP coins, and those coins are going to be added to the U.S. Strategic Reserve.
I heard that too. I'm not going to lie.
That's a big story. So if that's true, I think that's a very bullish signal. What do you think the settlement?
What do you think they're going to settle on the amount?
George, I've been trying to figure that out. There've been all kinds of numbers floating on the internet, and I think some of them are just bullshit. I don't know. But, I've asked around a little bit, and I'm supposed to get a call on Friday. They're going to do some checking and see if there's any kind of like early release stuff. If it is, I'll drop it on Friday on the show.
What do you think? What are they saying online? The ballpark, like the numbers they're saying.
I've heard, I don't even want to say because it's such a wide range that it doesn't make any sense. I believe they're going to settle for as little as possible, but I want to say this. It could behoove XRP to not negotiate that number too much. And here's why. If they get a decent number that's livable, the U.S. government holding a large block of XRP almost guarantees the fact that Ripple just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more accepted. So it's kind of like if they negotiate it down too far, then the government, if they are in fact going to accept XRP as the settlement coin, it's a weird thing now that that's out and now that people are hearing about it. So this is going to be a big catalyst for that. And of course, one of the big pieces of news we covered on the last show is that Ripple's acquired Hidden Road, which is a prime premium broker. And of course, they're talking about that company integrating $10 billion in daily transactions into the XRP ledger. Now, this is big news. So, of course, this is Ripple's continuing to position itself as a major player. And of course, in their financial services, they're aiming to compete with the SWIFT system. And their real strategy is to, in the long term, replace the SWIFT system, which is where that blockchain comes in, Ripple's technology. So that chart, if you take a look at it, if you look at the way that open jaw funnel's working there and the resistance levels that are supporting it, it makes a lot of sense that we're going to see a candlestick in the short-term future. The low we caught on April 7th, everybody knows it went down to $1.61, and we've seen it bounce back 35% from the lowest point this year. And I think the 25-day moving average is maybe as strong as it's ever been. So, we've already passed that one resistance level. We got the next resistance level, in my opinion, is sitting around $2.70 and change if you look at a Fibonacci retracement for you advanced people out there. So this is big, I think, George. And I do believe they're going to settle in XRP tokens for that SEC fine.
I mean, that's very well plausible. Why not? It's good money. It's going to be... Look, we keep talking about this SEC and settlement. What needs to be done, I think Atkins is going to do, he's going to get this thing settled so we can move on. Because there's so many things that's going to be coming from this that people are going to be like, what? And I said $3. Once this is done, the settlement, forget about $3. It's going to go up and up and up because look, Polymark investors expect them to approve the XRP EFTs from 11 companies, including VanEck, ProShares, and Franklin Templeton. And Lance, how many? There's 35 NDAs right now, contracts with XRP. Is that right?
Yeah, 3,300 and some odd, almost 3,400.
I mean,
and they still can't disclose it because they haven't got their final settlement. So,
right. That's why once this case goes, once it's settled,
big news.
You're going to go boom. And here, I'll put the chart. So we can, it's just, that's one thing I think is going to be the biggest volume is XRP. That's my opinion. And I'm sticking with it. Why? Because of those contracts. And a lot of them are due with a lot of other countries, even companies. But all the bankers want to use XRP or they want Ripple. And that just says a lot because they're talking about, how secure it is. Mm-hmm. So XRP to the moon. What do you think?
Well, I think, look, with XRP recently defending that key value area we talked about, and I think after printing that swing failure pattern that was in the news last week, I think that it's a big potential rotation toward a higher level. And I think with the whales accumulating and the potential that it ends up as a large block in the strategic reserve, I don't think we're going to see it turn back from this point forward. And then once that SEC settlement comes forward, we're going to see all that news replaced. And let's face it, most companies struggle for things to put in press releases to talk about how the companies move forward. XRP is sitting on over 3,000 pieces of what I would call big press release company data for Ripple. And that's been held back. If they start releasing them at 3 or 4 a day, it takes them years to release it all. So I don't even know how they're going to release all that information.
I was just going to say, just think about how long it's going to take them to release them.
At 3 a day, you're talking about 1,000. They've got 3,000 plus items to release. Some of it's come out in international news, but I think only maybe 20 or 30 deals because they also told their international partners they couldn't make announcements because that could have been looked at as somehow they were subverting the SEC, restriction on press. So, I think people are underestimating what's going to happen here. Again, it's not institutional or, financial advice. Talk to your financial, experts that run your portfolios and decide for yourself. But it's cheap enough right now that you could buy some, have that wallet, put away the seed phrase, and maybe just forget about it. Pick up 2, 3, 4, 5 grand, 10 grand worth, and just forget you have it.
Well, you brought something up you just said about financial experts. I just want to say this because we're going to be going to break in a few. These financial experts, how much are they in tune with crypto? Because they're pretty much, their basic thing was stock market, precious metals. Crypto's, newer. Yeah. Your financial advisor might not be so educated on it. So that's something you all need to look at too. Ask your financial advisor how much they know about crypto, school them. Ask the questions. Get the answers because you might need to find additional advisors to add on. You never know. I don't know, Lance.
Yeah. It's all going to come down to the volume, but you're right. There's financial advisors. That's why you're here on this show, educating yourself. The #1 crypto show on Rumble, the Crypto Power Hour. Now a nationally syndicated radio show deal. Rocking that up right now. We'll be right back with the Crypto Bros. Of course, George Balloutine, myself, Lance Migliaccio. And when we come back, we'll be talking about Dubai's multi-bank group entering crypto with MBG Rewards Initiative. Big news in the Dubai world. Of course, they want to compete directly with the U.S. and they've got a head start on us because the SEC didn't screw with Dubai. All right, stay tuned. Crypto Power will be right back.
As an American who keeps up with the real news, you know by now the severity of the economic issues that are plaguing our great nation. My name is Jonathan Rose and I'm the CEO of Genesis Gold Group, the only major faith-driven company in the industry. 2024 is a year full of uncertainties, with trillions of dollars in national debt, inflation impacting your savings, and a pivotal election year. Your peace of mind is more valuable than ever. Now is the time to use physical gold and silver to preserve your hard-earned retirement savings with a gold IRA. Call Genesis Gold Group today. Our team has decades of experience helping folks just like you take their first step on the path to true financial freedom with a gold and silver IRA.
Call Genesis Gold Group today at 1-800-200-GOLD for a no-commitment, informative consultation with one of our experts to find out if we can be a fit for you. Call now at 1-800-200-4653 or visit genesisgoldgroup.com.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. The smart choice for savvy investors and preppers alike. With Silver Prepper Bars, you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Hi folks, I'm here today to introduce you to the Prepper Bar from PrepperBar.com, the most unique precious metals product we have seen in a long time. These 62-gram bars are perforated and easily broken down into your choice of 3 different sizes to fit a multitude of needs. Whether it be from asset protection from inflation, economic turmoil, or its unique utility for barter and trade, the Prepper Bar makes a perfect gift for all the precious metal lovers out there. Exclusively made here in the USA and selling out fast. Available in both gold and silver, these slim Prepper Bars fit neatly in your wallet, and their utility enables use in any situation. As gold and silver prices continue to surge and top economists predict upcoming shortages, now is the time to secure your precious metals in the form of Prepper Bars. Go to PrepperBar.com now and place your order before supply runs out and prices go up. All payment methods accepted. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now at PrepperBar.com. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
All right, welcome back to the Crypto Power Hour, where we break down the wild world of money, markets, crypto, and everything in between. With your hosts, Lance Migliaccio and George Balloutine. But first, I got to take you guys to one of our sponsors, Genesis Gold Group, with their new innovation. It's called BlockTrustIRA.com. They are your partner on your Bitcoin journey, powered by Animus Technologies. They are empowering all Americans to take control of their financial future by providing secure, intelligent, accessible cryptocurrency investment with the familiar structure of an IRA. So in a world where traditional retirement strategies are struggling to keep pace with inflation and economic uncertainty, BlockTrust IRA offers a clear alternative geared to work with individual investors to secure their future financial wealth. So if you have a 401k or an IRA and you want to transfer it, you could do that. If you don't want to start a new 401k or an IRA, you could do that. If you don't want to do neither of that and just simply want to invest with them with the crypto, you could do that, because they are the AI cryptocurrency IRA platform. They're the AI revolution in your IRA, and their AI investments, they outperforms the market. They're the market leading management with no hidden fees. They trade over 60 different cryptocurrencies, and they're rapidly accelerating American retirement wealth. That's BlockTrustIRA.com. Go there.
And I want to talk about them for just a second.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, I do. I want to just tell the audience, these guys Animus Technologies was in a contest with all these other companies around the globe, and it was Bitcoin Magazine's contest, and they were testing all the AI trading platforms out there. And Animus Technologies was picked as the #1 trading platform for Bitcoin. Now, they also trade Ethereum, and they're soon going to be doing XRP with their AI. But the point is, they have had some crazy returns. I'm talking about over in a 4-year period, over 400 and some odd % over a 4-year period.
400,
That's big money.
600 was cent return.
My point is It's a way for you to set it and forget it. And you can count on the fact that Genesis Gold Group, great company, they're the founders of Block Trust IRA. They're partnered with Animas Technologies now. They're the exclusive provider. I want to tell you, when you head over there, just tell them you saw the Crypto Power Hour. You want to know more about blocktrustira.com. You can ask for Jonathan Rose. You can ask for Jacob Diaz and tell them, hey, I heard Lance and George talking about this. Can you tell me more? But what a great way to get involved. And volatility is the friend of that company. So you definitely want to check that out, blocktrustira.com. All right, let's talk about Dubai's multi-bank group.
They enter crypto with MBG Rewards Initiative. Their cryptocurrency markets continue to evolve beyond speculative trading. Multi-bank group. They are one of the world's largest financial derivatives providers. Is entering the crypto space with the launch of MBG Rewards program. We like rewards. I like rewards.
Yeah, I like rewards too.
Yeah, sure. They're marking a noble step into growing coverage between traditional finance and blockchain technology. And what were we just talking about earlier? Blockchain technology. Because that's what it's all about, the blockchain technology. What do they have, Lance? They got record trading volume that underscores commitment with what? 55.85 billion in daily trading volume. Oof. Multibank signals deeper institutional interest in digital assets. They're actually They're headquartered in Dubai, and they reported a record.
That's a record.
55, almost 56 billion in daily trading volume on April 3rd, 2025. That's huge.
And I got to say, I haven't heard of a figure higher than that. That figure places it among the most active institutional players, I think, globally. And you have to look at how that underscores the legacy of financial firms and how they're beginning to move beyond observation. And they're actively participating in these derivatives and ETFs. And in the crypto marketplace, that's a big deal. As volume increases, you have to realize that volume is one of the key elements of how crypto goes to the next level, breaks through a threshold of resistance. That's big stuff. And, multi-bank, they're looking at trying to reach a volume of 550 billion in daily trading by 2030. Now, if you think that's a 10 multiple. Imagine if every firm was thinking that. And let me explain the rewards program. So this is newly launched, and it allows users to earn tokens ahead of a planned token generation event. So the participants can complete tasks and challenges within the platform. That's how you accumulate the token allocations. It's all about an engagement strategy because they want you to get involved and get more comfortable with doing it. Of course, that strategy aims at familiarizing users like we've spoken about. You want to get comfortable with your wallets and how to trade. And with that system, you're getting early traction for any ecosystem that gets brought into the MBG environment. So I think unlike a lot of other crypto startups begin with white papers and speculative roadmaps and, of course, social media hype, Multibank is entering that space with an established customer base. They already have over 2 million users at Multibank, and they've got a $270 million profit as of 2024 already in the derivatives market in the crypto thing. So they've got profit, they've got users, and now they're trying to really shift towards what I would call sustainable engagement, George.
It is, and listen, you look at just Dubai as a whole and what they built there. I mean, their advancements, their technological advancements they're just there for the future. I mean, aren't they building like a floating city there? They're trying, but Lance,
yeah, Dubai is unbelievable.
So we talk about Dubai, and why don't you tell them who has a seat on the Dubai exchange?
Solum Global. They have a seat on the Dubai Gold Exchange, which is very difficult to get. And of course, Solum Global's got a gold-backed stable coin. They've got a big AI program they're putting into healthcare. They're testing some of the final changes on the platform now, and the results are staggering as far as protecting healthcare industry from fraud, expediting transactions between health insurance companies and providers of healthcare services. Of course, it's all encrypted, which creates a really, really secure network. This is big stuff, and you have to look at it. Solum Global, we teamed up with them because we believe in what they're doing, and I think they are going to be the blockchain healthcare, conduit, the real bridge to getting that working within the blockchain.
Imagine if you take their innovation with the healthcare and bring it to Medicare, Medicaid, and streamline all that. Oh,
Get
my.
rid of all the fraud. Can you imagine getting rid of the fraud? What that means in savings for the U.S. government?
Fraud. What about that? Expediting everything, moving more quickly. People don't have to wait to see a doctor, or wait for appointments, or wait to be paid.
Yeah.
Imagine how it helps. How it helps the doctor's offices run more smoothly. Just that right there. Like, people like the manager of the office they're always trying to get paid and get money, and it's Medicare, Medicaid.
If you want to learn more, you can head over to solum.global. But for healthcare providers, the great part is all that factoring is going to be out the window, because what it does, Solum, is they're talking about immediate streamlined transactional payment, meaning that if George Balloutine goes into the doctor's office and sees them, once it goes through the system to be tested for fraud, which is almost instant, they can submit for billing to the healthcare provider instantly. And if the healthcare insurance company has already signed on with Solum, those stable coins are transferred immediately, and they're immediately exchangeable for USDC, which is unbelievable for literally tenths of a cent, versus factoring that'll take 10 to 15% for expedited payments. So it's a big deal. And of course, the big news is gold through the roof, keeps going up and up and up. Looks like $3,500 is imminent. Mm-hmm. George predicted that a couple of weeks. And if you aren't watching the Global Finance Forum show on Fridays at 1 p.m., you'll get some of George's bullion predictions. And I got to tell you, he's been spot on as of late. But gold-backed stablecoins, gold-backed tokens, are set to benefit as Wall Street goes even more bullish after a record rally. So all the major financial institutions are raising their gold price for forecasts, along with George Balloutine, due to the growing trade war fears, central bank accumulation, because those strategic reserves across the globe are accumulating gold and silver at the highest rate ever, including the BRICS nations. And I think what you guys need to know is all these major financial institutions like Citibank, UBS, they all raised their gold price forecasts. That's, of course, due to the trade wars and the central bank accumulation. Gold-backed cryptocurrencies like Solum, PAXG, XAUT, they've all been outperforming digital assets with the rising gold price and are set to benefit further if this bullish trend continues to hold, George.
Are you telling me that this gold is not going to hold? Of course it's going to hold. Listen.
No, I'm telling you that if the bullish trend continues, which I think it's going to, I agree with you.
I think the bullish trend is going to continue because there's some market corrections going on too. But when you talk about gold has been around forever, and it's always been the number one asset to trade. That's never really gone down in value. It's always gone up since discovery. So I'm saying it's going to be at least, I'm saying 3,800 by the end of the year. And
yeah, I think that's great. I think
it might be even more the way it's going. But listen, it's gonna. Anything that's backed by gold, especially if you're coined, you can't beat it. You will not go wrong with it. That's why it's always a safe haven when they use it for IRAs and 401ks.
Yeah.
You can't. UBS, what is Mark Heffley? He's the UBS strategist that said in a note that gold's enduring appeal as a store of value and hedge against uncertainty has proven itself. And it always does.
Yeah.
It just
I got to give it to the founder over at Solon Global, Kirk St. John's. He predicted this a long time ago that he thought some of these stable coins that were backed by hard assets like gold and silver were going to be the ones that were going to outperform the market. Sure enough, he predicted that, and that's where it's going. Tether's gold coin, of course, up, and PAX, which is the PAXG we just mentioned. With that rise, they're all going up. Solum Global is going to be getting listed on lots of exchanges. They're in talks with some of the big exchanges now. I can't go into it because, of course, some of that stuff's under NDA. But this price action, of course, is also the impact of the supply. Jonathan Rose from Genesis Gold Group thinks that the demand is soon going to even escalate more because the supply can't keep up with it. There haven't been any major strategic gold reserves or silver reserves that have really been found. And the ones that have been kind of acknowledged are going to take years to get out of the ground.
Well, you got Russia and China that are buying gold and storing more gold. So,
yeah.
Let's face it, our Fort Knox, we can't even get an audit. But and this still,
what happened to that audit? Wait, what happened to the Fort Knox audit? Why is it all crickets?
And every time I think about what you told me that they value their ounce of gold for $60, $60. I offered to buy all the gold for. I'll give them $100, $40 profit in that case.
Yeah, what's up?
Listen.
What's up? What's up, Fort Knox? Can the crypto power get some of that gold for Solum?
You know what the problem
We'd like
is?
to have some. Yeah, go ahead.
The gold's not there. I think that's all a ruse.
I hate to even think that, but I'm starting to believe. I mean, all the talk, it was all over social media. Elon Musk says they were going to video it, and they were going to Fort Knox, and they were going to do a walkthrough, and then
They can't because it's
nothing.
not there. It's not there. I think that's all a ruse. Maybe the gold's hidden somewhere else. Maybe they don't have it. I don't know, but it's definitely not in Fort Knox. Think about it. Or else Trump and Elon would have been there ordering it.
Yeah.
But, we went from we're going to go there.
You gotta admit, is that a little unnerving for you? It's a little unnerving for me to think that maybe the strategic, because, we're supposed to have one of the top strategic gold reserves in the entire world. Can you imagine? I put up a meme. I was joking around. There was a meme, and it was a red brick with a can of gold paint. And it said, the employees at Fort Knox right now. And I was kidding. But now I'm not so sure that I was kidding. Was I being predictive?
I think we have our gold. It's just not there. Where it is, I don't know.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they keep it at Fort Knox? What would be the reason to move it?
Diversion, so nobody ever thinks about trying to steal it. I don't know. Who
I don't
knows? Our government's corrupt, man.
I don't know.
They're corrupt.
I don't know.
Who knows what they did with
Joe Biden, his house in Delaware might be made out of Fort Knox gold bricks.
Imagine that.
You never know.
mean, why would they not take my offer of $100 an ounce when they value it at 60?
Yeah.
You would think they would take it, right?
Yeah, I wish they would have. We could have bought it all.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What about?
All right.
Remember the story where Trump went to when he went to the Vatican and they flew planes of gold back, took the gold out of there?
Yeah, the black SUVs and trucks, and they supposed
And how many planes? Yeah, where? If that's so, where is that gold?
Yeah,
Mar-a-Lago?
I don't know. I mean, I went to Mar-a-Lago. I got to admit, there's a lot of gold around there. I mean, everything's a lot of gold trim. Now I'm starting to wonder, should I have checked it? Was it solid gold? Maybe it was solid gold.
Well,
interesting Mar-a-Lago. I didn't see it, but he has it was supposed to be a replica.
Ark of the Covenant made of gold.
But it's supposed to be solid gold. I didn't see it, but it's supposed to be made out of solid gold, and it's supposed to be a replica of the Ark of the Covenant. Is it a replica? I don't know.
Well, look at the Oval Office. It's all golded out now.
Yeah, maybe it's our Fort Knox. That's why they can't go, because Trump's been taking it out there, melting it down, and he's making all the trim for the Oval Office.
He loves the gold, boy. He loves his gold.
Yeah, he's got Melania decorating the White House all with real gold in case we have to cash in. I don't know. All right, let's talk about the Trump Media Group. They've been going all in. Of course, they own True Social, but now they're very, very involved with everything else, including Crypto.com. They're teaming up to launch a Bitcoin Kronos ETF. They inked the agreement. It's done deal with Crypto.com in Yorkville to launch a digital asset, another ETF, electronically traded fund for anybody out there that doesn't know what that means, including Bitcoin and Kronos. They're going to be distributed globally under the TMTG fintech platform, truth.fi. If you guys know about that, it's a link back to the Truth Social platform, pending, of course, regulatory approval.
You think he'll get the approval?
Yeah, I think with the new guy over there with Atkins, I think it's spot on. They're saying that they're going to be releasing the ETFs in the fourth quarter of this year, as part of its 2025 roadmap. That collaboration is big news, and of course, that puts Trump Media right into the fintech space, George.
I'm going to go a bit off topic right now. I have to do it. I mean, it's good for Trump Media, but what are they doing for True Social? You haven't really done much over there.
Yeah.
Added stuff, new features. You can't even stream to there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the TV section, the channel guide. I mean, listen, this is all good. I'm happy they're doing this, but you need to focus on other things too.
They haven't done a lot. They have an awful lot of money now in their war chest. I haven't seen any improvements to True Social, and that's why the platform's kind of just sitting there. I don't think it's really growing. I feel like it's kind of more of an advertising marketing platform for them than it is for anything else. I spend less time there than ever. I don't know.
I don't really spend too much
It's
time on
sad.
social media, period, anymore.
It's sad. True Social was important. It was important at the time because, of course, a lot of us got suspended on Twitter, which was
Yeah.
under the Jack Dorsey reign of terror. So, all right. Well, I think this is a great new product. If nothing else, we'll switch back. It's going to be managed under the Truth FI.
Do you think they're going to enable payment systems with crypto on True Social? That could be a game
I think they
changer.
are going to do that. And I think
I just helped them
TMTG,
out.
they're committed. They put $250 million into the ETFs and separately managed accounts. They've also made a big investment, a strategic investment in coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and others. They've purchased quite a few of them. So I know this is all part of the 2025 roadmap. I think it's a platform native stable coin is scheduled to launch in the Q3. So that's kind of what you're talking about, that they're going to have a stable coin that maybe they're going to make payments for on that. The Yorkville America digital CEO, Troy, if everybody knows him, it's Troy Relo. He confirmed the ETF collaboration is a strategic development. Of course, it's aimed at aligning new financial products with domestic market interests. So this is kind of a big deal. There's lots of chat on it on the street. Of course, the deal's been inked, so it's all been released now. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. We'll let you guys know as it moves forward, kind of what the impact's going to be on the marketplace.
I want to put the graph that you got because I didn't realize you had it. I apologize, but Trump.
Yeah, that's kind of the press release stuff. That lets you kind of know what they've been doing. These are press releases coming out of TMGG. So you can see Trump Media, Crypto.com in Yorkville. Trump Media alerts SEC to potential manipulation of the DJT stock. This is a list of all their press releases. I just wanted to share it with the audience so they can kind of see what was going on in the marketplace and what kind of news it was.
I just want to talk about something. Like when we're talking about Trump, right? And we're talking about, crypto and everything. He has to, he has to tread carefully with his, he's got the meme coin.
Yeah.
He definitely has to tread carefully because we don't need no negative attention, no negativity saying he's manipulating this or that with crypto. I mean, personally, because he's the president, I don't think he should be. That's like him getting stocks and doing something with stocks. They shouldn't be doing it anyway, but.
Well, he released his coin prior to being sworn in. So did Melania.
But I don't think it was his. It was his kids, though, wasn't it?
I think it was, a family partnership. My understanding is that Donald Trump Jr., Eric Trump, and Barron Trump and Donald Trump are all partners in a lot of this crypto stuff. I don't know if Donald Trump's had to take a smaller role because, normally the presidential trust is run for the president. So there isn't anything that's considered unsavory. It's run by an outside group. When you become president of the United States, your stuff goes into a trust and they have to kind of manage it for you. I don't know on the crypto side what he's allowed to have as far as ownership. And of course, I'm sure they're worried about that because he's always a target. But my understanding is that Barron is deeply entrenched in the crypto, as are Eric and Donald Trump Jr. So I think a lot of the stuff that's got to do with the Trump World Media Group and the rest of the stuff in crypto, I think they're handling that portion of it. But it's great because at least we know the families behind, wanting to move crypto into a whole new age here in the United States, which I think is important for regular Americans. The fact that the administration is so pro-crypto, it's an opportunity for generational wealth. And we always talk about that on the show. On the Crypto Power Hour, that's what it's all about. We want to educate you each and every episode. Next week, George told you we're going to talk more about, not next week, I guess on the next show, we'll talk more about blockchain. And George, we've got some great guests for the next show. Do you want to share that with the audience?
I'm trying to remember their names. Ryan, I can't remember their names. But we have two big guests coming on Thursday. They're a lot on TikTok and they do a lot of teaching and educational.
Great.
And they have a great following, and I've watched some of their videos, and they're just going to be great guests because they really break down and explain things on even a simpler level. So, I
think that's always important. We try to simplify it for you guys, so it's important. So listen, if you like the show, don't forget you want a thumbs up, comment, share. Let the people over at Rumble know that you like the Crypto Power Hour. You can always go over to Chris Pavlovski's personal social media account on X, and you can just jump into one of his posts and just say, hey, by the way, we love those guys at the Crypto Power Hour. If you like the show and you want to see more of it, all that matters. Tell your friends and family about it. Share it with them. And if you can do a paid subscription for $5, please do. It all goes back into the show, and these shows all have costs. Everything you see, the cameras, the software, the monthly subscriptions, we have to pay for all of that. And it's all part of that, of course. And if you want to find out more about Solum Global, head over to solum.global. Check them out. Don't forget to follow georgeballoutine on X, The Big Mig Show on X, Lance Miliaccio on X, Solum Global on X, and of course the Crypto Power Hour on X. You can also find Crypto Power Hour and Solum Global on True Social and Getter and Telegram. So join those up. There's always going to be lots of information. We have lots of original articles, the hottest news getting reposted, and we'll engage with you. And if you'd like to sponsor the Crypto Power Hour, you can email gb@thebigmig.com or lm@thebigmig.com. We're looking for like-minded sponsors, big companies, educational partners. That's what it's all about. It's an opportunity because in crypto, we trust. Myself, Lance Miliaccio, and George Balloutine. George, last words on the way out the door.
Y'all have a blessed day. We'll catch you Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Be there.